Hello, everybody. Today is Monday, November 20th, 2023, another Mon Juan Monday. And this is truly like a family night. We've got 5 people here. All of us have done theater together. We've all known each other for years and years and years. Obviously, it's Kyle, me, and Gina here, but we got Mikey, as we've had all season for Survivor. And we have Jay here with us, Jay Hughes, one of our besties. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait to talk to you guys about just all things Survivor and whatever else comes up. So let's not waste any more time. Let's kick this off. Here's our little intro. We've put Jay into it. So here we go.
Damn right we did.
All right. Well, I am John Dunphy. And, as usual, we have my fellow tribe mates, Mr. Kyle Petty O'Kane, and Miss Gina Morgino. I actually realized I introduced myself wrong. I decided I'm going to start standing Miss D. Valadares.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right. So tonight I am John Dunphy Valadares. I've taken her name, I've decided. And of course, we got Mikey and Jay. How's everybody doing?
Hey.
How's everyone doing? Let's do a little family check-in. How's everyone doing? How's everyone liking the season and this last episode?
This is fabulous. Listen, I just said to everybody off screen, I said, I haven't watched Survivor since season 40. So I am new to the new era. And I am loving it, baby. It is fun to watch. I'm loving how things are just flipped on their head all the time. And nothing is the same. And having the auction back, but a very different auction than we've seen before. It's a delight. It's a delight. We love Survivor. Oh my God.
I'm so glad. Survivor. Yeah, you really did pick the exact perfect season to start the new era. Start your new era watching experience.
Good.
No, you really did, because honestly, the new era has not totally been slapping the entire time. Like we have to say, there were a couple of clunkers along the way, but I think 45 is getting it right.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So you're already a warning from Sir Levin.
You need to avoid. Thank you, Matt, because I just asked the group. I said, what do I watch between 41 and 44? Give me the tea. So thank you, sir. I will not be watching season 43.
Simply can't even remember who was in 43 at this point.
Nice.
43, 43 was a little rough.
Was that
44 was a lot of fun.
Oh,
that was the Gabler season.
Gabler.
Which, yes, I think was also the Jesse season.
Okay.
Jesse was great.
To be fair, there were some good things that led up to that. It's just the ending was just like lackluster, but like we had some good moments along the way though.
Jesse and Cody were fun.
I'm not going to say justice for 43, but if there's a snow day, you got nowhere else to go, and you want to bang that sucker out in one day. But
but I definitely recommend 44. And I won't tell you, obviously I won't spoil the whole season for you and tell you who wins, but Kyle and Gina and I had the opportunity to meet the winner of season 44. So
I was just talking about that today.
Yeah. So that, that's another reason why the season has a special place in our hearts. But there were some great moments in 44. Definitely worth watching.
Okay, we'll do.
So
it's a great cast.
Nice.
All right. So I guess we should get into this episode, right? This most recent episode of 45.
Yes, we shall.
Let's do it.
So I don't even know where to start, because there were some things that came up in the beginning of the episode, but like they kind of make more sense to hold off on talking about them because they kind of came back around later. I almost feel like it might be fun to just like start off with the auction. What did you guys think of the Survivor auction? Some changes right to it. We had differing amounts of money. I feel like Bruce's strategy of collecting money was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Disaster.
So overall thoughts on the auction. What do we think?
I really enjoyed this new version of it. I thought they upped the stakes in a way that I felt like the old auction sort of lacked. And it felt like there was a little bit of an edge to everything, and like it was still fun. We didn't have to worry about the advantages, and like no one's saving their money for like the best advantage or whatever. They're all going for food. It felt like everyone needed to participate because of the stakes. Like I feel like in some of the old auctions, some people just like don't even open their mouth at all. Everyone was involved. I really enjoyed this version of it. I felt this was a triumph, I thought.
Yeah, this made it work because obviously it didn't work and they didn't bring it back for 15 seasons because, like you said, Mikey, everybody's pooling their money to wait for those advantages.
Yeah.
Now you're just like, okay, you're just getting food. And this money thing, you know, whoever has the most money at the end. And listen to me, I find Bruce to be an absolute irritant. I have in the words of Kyle Petty, he is an irritant. So the fact that he had like the most money at the end of the auction, pretty much, I was like, this is perfect. This is great. But anyway, but I do love, yeah, I love the fact, I think it just made it work. The fact that, you know, and the stakes of whoever has the most money at the end. I don't understand why people in the first 5 items are not throwing all of your money at whatever it is.
Just
Get
take it.
rid of it. Or, you know, or split your money in a way where you'll have more than everyone else and you could bid on something else in the 5 items.
Yeah.
But spend your money.
Spend that money.
$900 on a milkshake or whatever it was.
D nailed it.
Yes.
D nailed it. I was like,
Absolutely nailed it.
Yeah.
It was like
Actually, oh,
it
go ahead,
felt like
Mikey,
the
go ahead.
perfect. I was gonna say for D, it felt like the perfect item to do that on too, because like a milkshake is great, but like she's not taking protein from anybody. Like it's like it felt like a very smart move on her part. She said, "I'm gonna take something that's delicious, but like maybe not the most sought after in the auction. Just throw the $900 at it, call it a day." No one seemed to be like upset with her by any means. Like I thought she played that really, really smart.
It was smart, but I couldn't help but think that, like, if I've been living on a steady diet of coconuts and sand for the last 16 days, and now I try to put a milkshake in my body, not a chance.
Oh,
Not a chance.
I know. I thought the same thing, G. I was like, oh boy, this is rough. This is going to be rough for old D later on.
rough night.
Well, I think it was also partly like the timing of it too, because this was on the heels of that last one was covered, wasn't it? And then the one that she selected was uncovered, and we were getting close to hitting that 5, and she's probably like, you know what? I know what this is, so let me just put my money into this sucker.
Yeah,
like,
that's true too.
Discernible.
Yep.
Can I also have the dissenting opinion? Because you know I have to do it. I have to do it.
Of course.
I am really it really plays in a little bit later too, but I'm growing weary of everyone losing their votes. Like I've been a major proponent for getting to the merge because I want to see big politics, I want to see big votes, and I want to see things going back and forth. But you keep taking people's votes away. I get it; it adds to the pressure of the auction. But can we find a new punishment? Do something else. Like maybe this person's not allowed to have rice or something. Maybe this person, like, you take their canteen away and they can't go down to the well. You gotta do something else. Like I don't know what it is, but like enough with taking away people's votes. Like
I agree with that.
Enough
Absolutely.
now, because didn't
I
we
like
get the tribal? Like a third of the people that were there couldn't vote, and it's like, what is that? And then
It feels like
ahead, but in the next on, we're also seeing that more people are going to be able to lose their vote and whatever they're doing now, and it's like, stop it!
It definitely does feel like we're at a point where there could be more variety in that punishment. I don't know off the top of my head what the other punishments would be.
Don't know what it is,
but I do agree that
argument's not constructive.
Yeah, no.
Like, something.
I absolutely agree that I don't like that it's always lose your vote, but I do like that there is stakes to some things that weren't necessarily that had stakes before, you know?
Agreed.
Right, and that's the highest punishment.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like,
it is the
you
highest,
think
for
about
sure.
right. That is the absolute most pressure being applied is losing your vote. So it's like,
and it feels like we've had like several votes on this season where not just one person was missing their vote, but it was like multiple people without votes, because we've seen a lot of people play their shots in the dark. And then so like if you already have people that have lost votes and you got people playing shots in the dark and stuff, it's like all of a sudden it feels like there's nobody voting.
I absolutely, just a side note, because I haven't watched these seasons, they were talking about, oh no, he's going to play a shot in the dark. And I was
like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's
hell is a shot? I literally was like,
That's so
what I
funny.
will say though is so fun is like, again, you picked the right season to watch because Shot in the Dark has been a flop every season of the new era until
right
this
up till
season.
now.
We got the
Oh,
best shot in the
fabulous.
dark of the new, this new era, this twist. It was the best shot in the
Yes,
dark
we did.
that we've gotten so far on this season. So,
Absolutely.
but
Fabulous.
going back to like that, just spending all your money, like I really thought that Emily had gotten herself in trouble in this. Like she came in with $500, spent $440 on that one item, and was now just only $20 below Bruce. And I'm thinking to myself, you should have just spent all $500 on that thing.
Yeah.
Miss Analyst over there.
Oh, I don't
Slumping
get
a
it.
little bit on that. Yeah, she lucked out. She lucked
She
out. 'cause
did.
that-
She lucked out.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if there were 2 more items, then what happens? You know, because if if Bruce
I
spent
did
all his
wonder
money,
that.
and then there was one more item, and she spends all her money, then no one loses their vote, I guess.
Yeah, I
Good.
wondered about this. Like, if nobody has any money, is it just a wash? And then also, I wondered if Emily had spent just $20 less on that, and her and Bruce both ended with 80, would they both lose their vote?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Some
like
sort of
I'm
tiebreaker.
curious about
Interesting.
some of that.
Interesting questions. Maybe we'll see them come up in the future.
So that might have been something they figured out on the fly. Did
True.
they think of that? Sometimes I think when they put these twists in, and not just Survivor, I think across the board, like the challenge, Big Brother, we put this twist in and we didn't really think it all the way through. And then it comes up like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's like,
I feel like
production has a quick huddle.
I feel like Jefferson Probst is just the end all be all. Shout out to Matt. That was amazing. Jefferson. That's all.
Is his name really Jefferson?
No,
I don't think
absolutely
so.
not. Absolutely not.
Apparently, our friends from the A Who All Gonna Be There podcast said it first. And Matt
Thank you
has
for
brought it
them.
to us. So thank you for that. Yes, honestly.
Thank you. But Jefferson Probst has had the ability to, like, things have come up in past seasons as well. And he was just kind of like, well, yeah, no, I just did whatever I wanted in that moment, you know, or, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that he just kind of is like, I'm going to improv this and see what happens, you know. So
he thinks on his feet pretty well. Yeah. He's been doing this long enough at this point.
Exactly. It's like, just let the man take the reins if something goes awry, you know. I mean, he is that show. So
absolutely. Yeah. There's no Survivor without Jeff.
Jeff's got it.
Jefferson.
Jeff can.
Nice.
Oh my
Nice.
god.
So yeah, so anybody have like a favorite item, something that they definitely would have bought from the auction?
That PB&J with the margarita at the end, baby.
Yeah.
Woo!
That sounded nice, huh?
Woo!
I thought that was an interesting pairing. That is certainly something that I would do on any night of the week. But I just thought I'd be alone on that. So, I don't know. Margaritas and PBJ for life. All right.
That was a nice.
I know. Sorry, go ahead.
That was a nice plate of fries. That's all.
It did look nice.
Okay.
Nice.
It did
I was
look
gonna
nice,
say
yeah.
I know we didn't get to see it ahead of time before it was won, but that meat and cheese platter with a glass of wine.
Oh, I changed my answer. Yes.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think that Emily got the best best
you
item.
do, huh?
Good job, Emily.
I don't want to be at the center. Yes, I do.
Oh.
But like, do you wonder about the temperature of these meals? I imagine the cheese probably had some sweat on it.
I had to assume it's like in a refrigerated area underneath whatever.
So not to you look at some of these, it looks like
not
the
to
ice
always
in that
be
soda looks like a little melted down. Things didn't look as cold as they should have. So,
not to always be the guy plugging Survivor's official podcast On Fire, but they did talk about this again last week. There's apparently they've got like a makeshift kitchen, like with like a stove and a fridge, like set up like in the jungle. That like literally they're going. I guess there's probably cuts in the edit that we're seeing, but they get the food, they put it under the thing, then they bring it up and they're like, here it is.
Sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
well, that much
so it's
I
right
believe.
there. So it's fairly fresh. It's
I
only
guess
been
I'd like
sitting
to know
there
how fairly this is, you know, because the margarita was not on the rocks. It didn't look like it was like blended, right? Because it definitely the way it was swinging in the glass. It definitely was.
I mean, the
melted
milkshake looked pretty solid.
I was gonna say the milkshake looks right out of the freezer.
Was it though? We just don't know. I mean, like you didn't.
There was some sweat on the glass. Sweat on the glass.
That's what I mean. Like I just don't know how fresh these things are. So I feel like the margarita and the PB&J is safer.
Yeah.
You know, you could have had sweaty cheese. That's all. And
I felt like
I would have not eaten it. You know, I
I felt like
down in the rankings.
I felt like the fries and the soda, you know, the soft drink, like there were definitely still there was definitely still ice cubes in that soda.
in there.
So like
they were, but
if
give
it's
it
cold
another
enough to still
gander.
have ice, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
Nothing beats
Yes.
PB&J though at any temperature. PB&J is so versatile.
right.
You can have it hot, you can have it
Slams on
cold, you
sweet.
can have it right in the middle. It's like, it's the it's the
Mhm.
perfect food.
And that
I'm
seems
also-
to be the thing that we're like everybody is craving on Survivor every single season is like, I want a PB&J, I want peanut butter. You're like, okay, all right, doll, like,
Sure.
you go out right ahead. But that's always what they talk about is peanut butter, like specifically. So I'm like, this makes sense. This
Yeah.
Delicious.
That the
I'm
pizza
also-
didn't look very good to me.
See,
That
I don't know if
pizza.
it didn't look bad. If I'm on a deserted island, I'm jumping on that pizza. Whatever.
Right. I
Yeah,
mean, listen, I could lower
definitely.
my standards at any point. I mean, like, but you know, I'm still a human. I've only been here for about 2 weeks at this point. Like, I mean, you can at least like.
You
it's
gotta
still
remember
human.
though, we're all
It
New
looked like the
Yorkers.
pepperoni was thrown on top of there after the
Our,
fact.
our standards for pizza are a little
Our
different.
standard-
Right.
than the
high
rest of the world.
standards for pizza. Pizza
Right.
and
Pepperoni
bagels.
never hit the oven. The crust was like limp. Just it looked very soggy and
paper
sad.
thin.
Yeah.
I think,
Paper
like-
thin.
If like the reward was if Jeff came out and he was like, I got bagels for you guys, I'd be like,
Do you? Where'd they come from, Jefferson?
There's a worm on the
Yeah.
ground over there.
Yeah,
I was gonna go
crunchy
grab that
bagels,
guy.
These New York bagels. Where'd they come
They-
from?
you flew these in, right? You flew
Yeah.
these in.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the chat right now, and Liz is saying we have to talk about the fish. No, we don't. No, we don't. We don't have to talk
well,
about
I
the fish
was-
eyes.
Actually, that's where we're
Imagine-
going.
About the fish eyes.
Yeah, that's where we're going next.
next.
Actually,
Mm.
because we talked about our favorite items, but our personal favorite items. But really, if you want to, you could argue that the giant fish eyes were actually the most popular item because they were purchased by two people. Two people spent money on these eyes.
Okay.
And,
Well, you say that on paper, but like
This
most
is just
popular item is people like. "Ooh."
I
Yeah, that's-
literally, I had to
That's how it
cover
was.
my eyes. I had to
Me
cover
too.
my eyes. I couldn't watch. I couldn't watch
The
it.
crunch, the
I know,
crunch.
Oh
the
my
sound
God.
from that. I was like,
The
I'm not looking. Stop. I don't want to hear.
Doing this.
Here we go. Just dig in.
No way. No.
Yeah, buddy. Get in there, boy. Yeah. Wow.
It's like sashimi.
I would.
You see
I'd
how,
throw
like,
up.
I
would throw up
he,
on
like-
the
hate
spot.
you.
You
I
see how he,
hate-
like-
Why do you do this?
He,
Why
like,
do you
bit into
always
that
do
thing.
this?
Austin, like, he bit into that thing, and there was some kind of like filmy, like, big piece that came off of it, and he literally like slurped it up like it was spaghetti.
No.
And he's
It was
like,
really
"Oh,
wild.
where's sashimi?" It's
John-
like, you are such a liar.
John.
You know that's so nasty.
No.
And, like,
John,
you just
no.
can't.
Wait.
Sashimi.
What part of me and Jay saying we had to cover our eyes told you that we wanted you to give us a play-by-play of exactly the
I
visuals
was
we were
literally
missing?
like, what's going on? What's going? I'm in the fetal position. Like, why? Good
The
job,
sludge,
John.
the slime,
Keeping
the
us on our
goo.
toes, John.
The slurp. The slurp.
yeah.
Was the
It's
part.
the-
The crunch. and
Anytime,
slurp.
anytime there's like a real like disgusting, like Gina loves. We do every time for the
You
challenge
do
when
this
they have
to
a
me
final.
all the time.
There's always like a vomiting montage, and I always have to put
Ugh.
one together for Gina for the when we talk about the finale of the challenge. So
Ugh.
yeah,
God.
Liz is right though. The goo was wild.
The
Did you see how
goo.
much goo? Once he bit it open, you could just see all the goo like pooling inside the eye. It was wild.
I feel like it
yes.
wouldn't be as bad if it was like fork and knife. I'm gonna take a little bite. It's the fact that
What?
they picked it up like an apple and just crunch.
Yeah.
It's all just
Yeah.
terrible. It's all terrible. But I mean, like, honestly, like,
Bad.
big ups to Katora for actually like licking it. She gave it a little. Like she tried.
And then she was
tried.
like, I'm good.
The
I'd be
second
like,
you would have
"You
told me
can
those
just
are
take
fish
that back.
eyes,
That's
I would have just
okay."
walked away.
Yeah.
Take it back. Just walk
Yeah,
away.
see ya.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no,
Bye.
no.
Also, like the
Fuck
problem
this. At
is,
least
like,
I still have my vote.
Right.
at that point too, it's like if I force myself to eat this and then throw up, like what was the point of it all anyway? You know? So I would walk right away from those eyes, man.
Goodbye.
I hate
Matt,
this comment.
You're absolutely correct. This was one of the most difficult things to watch. This was the third season of Survivor. They literally poked the animal right in front of everyone.
No.
That was
my
number
God.
one. So it was fresh, bitch.
No.
I'm sorry. And,
Oh, please. That's
please.
fine.
You can say
yes,
whatever
yes.
you want.
Okay. Yeah, and they just handed them glasses. Here you go.
Oh,
And I was like,
no.
okay. I think it was mixed with milk or something. It doesn't
And,
matter.
and what was
It
the
doesn't
reason
matter.
for
It doesn't matter.
this? What was the reason? Why did we do this?
This was maybe an African delicacy that I don't remember. I don't really remember what the significance of the blood, drinking the blood was, but
And this
I
was
think-
mandatory.
Yeah, they used to do like
This
eating
was a challenge.
challenges.
Yeah,
False. I'm like, where's
Yeah.
the boat? Goodbye.
Where's the boat?
Thank you.
Oh,
We had a
I
good
could
run.
never.
We had a good run.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
could never.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
the
Oh
old
my God.
seasons.
I'll be
Yes,
taking my
yes.
leave.
Some
Oh,
milky blood,
milk.
huh?
Oh,
It was-
God.
It was
Oh.
wild. It was
That
wild.
is really foul.
Yeah, foul.
Wow.
Oh.
Well, we've been spending a lot of time on the Survivor auction, but I feel like that's fitting because it's back for the first time in so long. So I do have another thing that I just, we have to talk about from this auction because
Oh, yeah.
it's obviously come up, many times when discussing Survivor here, whether or not they brush their teeth. And there was one item that was not food. It was this item, which was purchased by Miss Julie. So let's just watch.
A toothbrush, toothpaste, and mouthwash.
All right, 200. 420.
Sold to Julie for $420. Everything you have.
All of America want to watch me brush my teeth.
Yeah, give it a little sample.
Let's go. I can feel it. Baby.
So my question to Kyle is: Are you convinced now, or was this just a whole setup? They're listening to you on the podcast, and they said we're gonna feature some toothpaste in this
Segment
auction.
went in for Kyle.
They are not listening to me on the podcast, but they are all complicit in perpetrating.
It's staged.
It's a big setup.
It is a
big setup.
huge setup. I
Yeah.
don't believe it at all. I'm sorry. We are filming a TV show, and I still maintain these people's teeth are too clean. If they were able to get it right on the islands, we would have 9 out of 10 dentists recommending what they're doing, not what I'm doing. Okay, so there's that.
What they're
Sorry.
doing is not eating sugar in every meal, man.
But
Yeah, they're
also
not eating
using-
food.
Or not
Yeah.
eating, really.
But they're also using palm and charcoal to brush. I have seen charcoal on my Instagram, advertisements.
My
I
toothpaste
understand.
is charcoal infused, man.
Whiteners.
Well, mine's not. I do use Colgate for sensitive teeth. I don't
Come
do so
on.
well in the chilly weather. And that's also why I don't eat ice cream. But anyway, this is absolutely, it's a fraud. It's a fraud. They're just all participating in it. That's why they're all tell you like, no, that's real. That's real. It's not. It's not. They probably
Getting
also
us-
have cans of Raid on the side. No,
Getting us off the scent. Yeah, really.
still don't buy
God.
it. Still don't buy it. The teeth are perfect. They're perfect.
They're so
I
beautiful.
did also love that like Julie brushed her teeth. It was like a huge deal made out of it. I think it was D that said like, "Oh, first brush in 15 days, baby," and then Julie like immediately after brushing her teeth starts shoving chocolate cake into her mouth. It's like that brush is
You know
just
what?
done now. That whole brush.
As she should.
Right.
As
Oh
she-
yeah, absolutely.
She
I
got
just
that
thought it
cup
was
of
funny.
mouthwash too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did notice that they showed her at one point actually getting up off the bench, and she like bends up. You could see that she was like spitting out the mouthwash.
Oh my.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah. But all right. Any other thoughts on the auction? Bruce lost his vote. We had a lot of fun. I think that's pretty much
We have a
it,
lot
right?
of fun.
It's great.
We
Yeah.
had a lot of fun.
So obviously, Bruce, it seemed like was the target the whole episode. He loses his vote. It looks like things are going bad for Bruce until we get to the immunity challenge, which was basically everyone stands there, has to hold up this rope that's connected to a weight that's about a third of their pregame starting body weight. But there was something before
I'd be in
this
trouble.
immunity. There was something before this immunity challenge, right? Jeff had a little rice negotiation, but this went a little differently than other negotiations because we've seen it where he'll say, "All right, I need 4 people to sit out," and then they negotiate it down to 3 or something, or something like that. But in this one, Jeff wanted 4 people, and he decided, "I'm gonna take a knife to this bag of rice."
He
until we
wanted
get the 4
blood.
people. Yeah.
The drama. The drama. I loved it. He was, and I was like, I mean, I was living for it.
I loved it
so
too.
dramatic.
It's good.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I love the Katora segue into it also because he was like, maybe I should give you something to incentivize you guys a little bit. And Katora's like, yes, come on, Jeff, yes, please, yes, please. He's like, bonk, and she's like, wait, what? Oh, wait, just kidding.
Like
Cut that
this.
out.
Katara's always getting the shit end of the stick, let me tell you.
Oh my god.
She is fighting for her life out there.
She really is.
He is so
Fighting
fun.
for her
Oh,
life.
shit.
But you know what? I will
Shit.
say you got to give it to her because she is still there. She's had so she's
Damn
still
right
there
she
in the
is.
game.
With all of my team, by the way, just throwing that out.
Oh,
Yeah, we know
yeah,
Mikey.
yeah.
We know
Wow.
Mikey.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Gina's barely hanging on
Good
at this point,
stuff.
but we'll get
Listen,
there.
I'm telling you, it is the first person to draft. It happened to John and Big Brother. It's starting to happen to Kyle in the challenge, and it's happening to me on Survivor. Whoever has that first draft spot gets decimated.
You had first
Oh.
pick. There's no excuse.
It's cursed.
Who do you have left, G?
I got
Let's
Julie.
see.
That's all I got.
Mama
Yeah, cool. I mean, I
Julie.
guess, yeah, Julie.
Who do you have left, G? I didn't realize you only had one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wait. Oh my god.
Yeah, here's
Okay.
For me.
Oh, Julie.
It's not looking good.
I
Team
got
Dumpy
2
is
left.
looking
All
real
right.
strong, real strong.
Real
Listen,
strong.
I'm starting to get pretty
Team
high
Petty's
on
not
Emily.
looking bad.
No, Team Petty's looking real good. Would
Okay,
you look at my
all
king?
right.
Come on, Jake.
Team
And I
Team Petty's my
love-
favorite team.
Yeah, Team Petty is.
Petty.
Listen, we are slamming over here. Okay, we got
Mm.
great people over here.
Mhm.
Really done wrong by Miss Sabaya.
Oh, look at that 4-colored picture.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Mikey's
but
killing it.
okay.
Yeah, we
I mean,
know
listen,
Mikey. We
You got
know
you got a
Mikey.
good team, but Bruce. I mean, his,
Whoa.
Well, I've been
his
acting
days are by
for
far
Bruce to
numbered.
get out of there for
Bruce.
weeks. at
They're
this point.
numbered.
Needs
thing is,
to
like-
go.
Wait, where's
Like,
John's team? Did we look at John?
We did, yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like we didn't focus on it enough. Oh yeah, we did.
Boston and
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
What I
Emily.
will say, as far as Team Gina goes, I was very impressed with Julie's performance in this challenge. That was
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that
yeah.
was-
No, for sure.
Absolutely.
she
Yeah.
she
Showing out.
definitely have to
Showing
shout
out.
out Julie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
That was
Absolutely.
crazy impressive. That
It-
she was the
no,
last
I
one out
was-
there.
Shocked at how long she lasted.
I thought she
Oh.
might win it. I really
Yeah, there was
did
a
for
second there. I
second.
definitely thought she was going to.
I did too.
Yeah, me
Because
too.
the camera started to go over to Bruce a little bit, and it looked like he was shaking a little more, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh, just hold
Mhm,
on, Julie.
mhm.
Yeah.
But Bruce wins immunity. So it does not matter that he doesn't have his vote because not only was he safe in this episode by winning immunity, but he still has his idol. Didn't even get to try to flush his idol out of the game.
And like, here's the
Ugh.
thing too: is like, I know, like, Bruce for a number of reasons we want to see him go, but like, I want to see Bruce go if for no other reason. I want to see what Katura's game looks like when her entire story arc isn't "I hate Bruce and I want to get rid of him."
Yeah.
Like, what does
Yeah.
she do when he's gone?
Yeah.
Continue fighting for her life as she has been.
Well, you know what's interesting is that she went against like the Bello tribe, right? When they voted, she was kind of like on the outs with Bello, I feel like, and she started working more with like the old Reba tribe. Like I think she
Yeah.
voted she voted like against Caleb and like made sure that Julie was good, that that vote wasn't a tie. And it seems like people like Drew and Austin, and by extension, were like feeling like, okay, maybe Katura can work with us. But then we saw all of them vote in the opposite direction of Katura in this episode's tribal council that we'll get to in a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Katura's in an interesting spot.
Yeah, I mean,
She
I'm
is.
sure there's no version of events where she was gonna not vote like against Bruce, I guess, which I guess in this situation was against Jake. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, and I think the whole Katura thing, you can't tell Katura that you guys went searching for the damn idol, and it's in the right before tribal council. She's trying to
Bad
trust
move,
people
man.
here.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
gotta tell her right away. And I think if Katora knows about that idol, the vote may be different. And I
Yeah.
think that was her, I think she's going to be hopping around as they kind of see fit. Where can we use Katora? But
Yeah.
Mhm,
but
mhm.
why did you do that? Why didn't
Yeah.
you tell her right away about
It
it?
was a big mistake not to tell her, and then
Yeah.
the way that she eventually was told was just so sloppy that it was
Oh,
like,
it was
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
I was
What's-
like, up, there's no hope for that. She's going the other way.
What's interesting too, like you said, like she could be hopping around. She doesn't seem to be too much of a target right now. So
Mhm.
like the fact that she has this opportunity to hop between alliances and like actually make decisions like this could really work out in her favor
Mhm.
if she
Yeah.
makes it to final tribal.
Definitely.
That could because those are things that you can like. I did this. I made this vote. I made this decision. I got Caleb out of the game. You know, like that's
Right.
that right there is huge. She
That's
made
why-
that
Yeah.
decision.
That's why Emily's still here. She's
Yeah.
doing
Absolutely.
the same kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She's just
Emily's
hopping
been
around.
impressing the hell out of me. I never
Yeah.
thought at the beginning of this season that this is the spot that Emily would be set up in.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, she's great. She's in a terrific position.
the last
She's
surviving
doing very
Lulu.
well.
It's
People,
wild.
yeah. People gave Emily notes, and she took the
And
notes.
she took them.
Yeah.
She took the notes.
Heard.
Good for her.
Yes.
Good for her.
Oh,
Good for her.
Absolutely.
really wild.
I
Yeah.
do want to just throw something else out there. We've all been kind of ragging on Bruce a little bit like this season, but isn't there a world in which that like him staying around is actually rather comical?
Oh no, it's funny. It is
Yeah,
funny.
it really is. It's like everybody wants this man out, and of course he wins immunity. They know he has this idol. It's like,
Right.
what the hell is going on here? Like, I'm not going to be changing my last name to whatever Bruce is. Definitely not standing in that way. But there is a world in which they're like, I could support him staying in for a couple more weeks just to see what
Sure.
people do.
Oh,
Because it's really
God.
irritating people. And
Jay is like, not a
I
Yeah.
can't.
chance.
I was so sad when Sifu got voted out because I was like,
Oh God.
why can't? First of all, I didn't love Sifu. Okay, to be very
No,
honest,
neither
I
did
didn't love
I.
Sifu. I thought things about Sifu, but like my absolute like best episode ever would be Sifu getting voted out and Bruce then them
Right after.
flushing Bruce's idol,
Yeah.
of course. And I was like, come on, this sucks. Like, I was so upset. I was like, no. And I said, he ain't going to give it to Jake.
Owl
I said,
watch.
no, he's too
No.
selfish. He is
How
too
dare you.
selfish to give to Jake. It's all about him.
No.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
though, really,
First thing Owl says is this mess. I can't.
really
Oh,
interesting.
For a
Jesus.
third time.
Oh, stop it.
For a
Stop
third
it.
time.
Enough.
Really interesting that Bruce
Ugh.
didn't have a vote. He was immune, which like sure you're safe from the vote, but like you still can talk to people and like try to have influence. His two biggest allies are the ones on the chopping block, and the man
Yeah.
says nothing.
Nothing.
No, there is not a
Nothing.
single attempt to like listen, maybe it would have been in vain, but there's no attempt to sway that vote away from Jake or away from he might not have known about Kelly at all, but to like Jake is like supposedly, if not your number one, your number two. Because Jake
Yes.
thinks
Right.
you're so you like it's ridiculous to me that he made no effort at all to try to
Right.
throw
Yeah.
any other name out there. There's like what 7 other names he could have thrown in the ring and he didn't.
Yeah.
That really that was crazy.
It goes back to like I was screaming at the TV when Bruce was like standing there on the beach when Caleb was talking to everyone and he was like, no one's coming to talk to me. And I'm literally like, go talk to them! Go talk to them! And I'm upset at Caleb for talking to people.
Right.
I was dying. I was like,
Yeah.
you are, what game are you playing? What
Right.
season is this?
the other thing about that was so funny to me was that he kept, and we talked about this too, like
Yeah.
right after we had seen it, about how like Bruce kept complaining that no one was coming up and talking to him, but he was complaining to people that were coming up and talking to him that no one was coming up and talking to him.
Oh man.
Oh,
There is-
so good.
But that is also in line with how he was looking for the bamboo things like during the auction hunt. Like we're just everything is just like boom, 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 and it's like, let's go. Are you in this or not? I
It's
didn't
like
beat
Eeyore.
like you're playing a game. Let's go. Hello.
Right.
You gotta move. That's the game.
You're moseying back to the beach. Yeah, of course you're not going to find any more bamboo shoots with money in it. Everyone's running around and you're like, dee, dee, dee.
Like, look.
The thing is, though, like at
I'm
this
like,
point,
okay.
unless he makes some like giant major game move, even if he makes it to that final three, no one's gonna vote for him. Because they're gonna be like, "Hey, Bruce,
No.
remember when we were all searching through the woods for money and you were just standing there? Do you remember that, Bruce? Do you remember
Yeah.
that, Bruce? Remember when you were complaining on the beach that no one was talking to you, Bruce, but not talking to like? He's sealed his fate. Like you gotta play. I feel like he
Right.
forgets that the people that choose the winner are the people that he's on the beach with right now.
Right.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
what it feels like.
Right.
Right. Because if D is voting, D is gonna be like, "You're not hungry. You don't want it. You don't want it."
Right. I also like somebody made a comment in the episode also that like was very funny to me because I still like I remember so vividly that moment where Caleb was like, "Oh, I think I'll go look for some firewood," and Bruce was like, "You gonna go look for firewood? Or you gonna just talk about looking for it?" And then like somebody in this episode mentioned about Bruce being like, you know, for the guy who's always saying like, "Hey, let's get to work. Why aren't we working harder?" And it's like, and then you have him just walking around like in this like not even participating.
It's just like this never works for a Survivor player. I don't care if it's season 1 or it's season 45. If you come in and you start bossing people around and you're sitting there doing nothing yourself, and you know what? It doesn't even matter if you're sitting there doing nothing yourself. If you start bossing people around and giving people orders, you ain't gonna last. You're not. You're not. You won't win the game. Like,
No.
Stop it. What are we doing? Like, Bruce plays old school. This is new school. It's insane
Sure.
to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I play
absolutely.
devil's advocate just for a
No.
moment?
Here you go.
If you say anything other than Bruce being a complete irritant,
Listen,
go ahead,
this is still coming under the header of not a Bruce fan, not really thinking that he should win. Now, but this is still the halfway mark of the game, right? About that, maybe a little bit past. Is there a world in which if he amasses like 4 to 5 comp wins, do we have a different argument? My social strategy may not have been very strong, but like I was a physical threat, and you, no matter what you did, you couldn't get rid of me. And if he plays his idol correctly, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Do we think that we maybe at least have an argument? Maybe not to win. Maybe we won't actually win, but
I just don't think at this point that winning the immunities is enough. Like people are like, okay, you won immunities. What else did you do? Like it doesn't.
Right.
What if you won the immunities and you had a correctly played idol? Just like Caleb's shot in the dark. Like all these votes were on me. I knew enough to know that was the pulse of the tribe, and I played my idol correctly.
Yeah, but Caleb was also doing so much more behind the scenes. You're like
I'm sorry. I should not have said like Caleb. I only said like as a shocking moment.
Oh, I see what you mean.
All
I don't
votes
know.
on Caleb, and he was saved. I'm not saying that he's playing a game like Caleb. Nope.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
right,
I guess it depends. It depends who he's up against, and if the taste that he's left in the jury's mouths is bad enough that maybe they just don't care about.
Yeah.
You know, it's because of the way the winner is chosen. It is so up in the air right up until this final moment. You know, like we all thought. I don't want to spoil it for Jay, but we all thought that someone else could win in 44, and then it ended up one vote going to a different person. So, you know, it's just like, it's so up in the air right to that final moment.
Right.
Yeah. That's all. I mean, I don't really think that that's what's going to happen, but I just think it's a fun conversation.
It is. It really is. I mean, you know, are you looking, do players now look at more all three, the big three, outwit, outplay, outlast? I mean, is that, you know, if you have one, you know, it's right. It's really up in the air with every single group.
Yeah. And I think it really has depended on the season for these new era. Because I can think back to some past people that were in final threes that I thought were going to win or at least get some votes, and nobody voted for them at all. You know,
Yeah.
when it came down to the vote at final 3. So it really has depended on the season, and I think the cast, just like the makeup of the cast.
Right.
Yeah, and
Emotionally or rationally, right. It's very up in the air.
I think it also has to do with the amount of twists that are put into the game. You know, because you talk about outwit, outplay, outlast. Those are the 3 things that we look at in Survivor to determine our winner. But in a game where there's so many different advantages at play and we're constantly losing votes, we're getting votes, there's all these advantages, disadvantages, all these things going on. It's like, is that really such an even split? Outwit, outplay, outlast? Or is there a little bit more of a higher percentage on the outlast? And it's like, I got here.
Yeah.
Does that count for something? Yay, nay. I guess we'll see.
We'll see.
Well, I actually think we're in a good spot.
I can't do that, and that's why I choose.
It's hard. It's hard to do.
It's very challenging, and
It is.
it's outside my.
Your eyes aren't even anywhere in there.
No, they weren't there. My hat's coming off. No.
My God.
Oh my God.
I think we're in a good spot though, because I had mentioned there were some things like earlier in the episode that I kind of wanted to mention, but felt like it would make more sense later on. And now that we're here talking about Bruce, you know, being the target all episode, but then winning immunity and being off the table for tribal council. So the 2 things that I had like really wanted to mention from beginning of the episode was obviously we saw Jake in the last tribal kind of come up with this crazy plan, put a vote on Julie, owned up to it, and told her that he voted for her and said, let's talk about it. And that was like really where we kicked off this episode. We all love Jake. I love Jake
so much.
But how much trouble is Jake in? Can he recover from this? Like, he survived this tribal, we know. Bruce is obviously going to be a big target again next week. With a couple more tribals, if Jake makes it, can we say he's sort of out of the woods, or is he like going to be on the chopping block for like moving forward now, do you think?
It seems like as long as Julie's in this game, there's a target on Jake's back. Because Julie did not take that apology. She said, nope, I want him out. I want him gone. So
yeah.
And it just adds to it that he is one of Bruce's biggest allies, you know, like the fact that
Yeah,
Bruce was off the table.
right.
So his 2 biggest allies, Jake's has this, already had this other stuff going on with Julie. I don't know.
It's like, Jake, girl, you got to pivot, babe. You got to pivot as soon as you possibly can. Get out of there. Look, I'm going to be contrary. I don't love Jake. I do not love Jake. No, sir. Bob. No, he always talking about.
I can't.
Oh my God.
That hurt my heart so bad.
Did I offend him that much? Listen,
His name, his name is Kyle Petty O'Kane. So
No, we are. Mikey, you
last
shut
name.
your face. Mikey, you stop it.
What?
No, I didn't know.
I was pointing to his name.
Oh, I thought you were like, me too, me also as well. And I was like, don't you dare.
also
I'm pleading the fifth
you
on
did.
this one.
Jake did like a post that was put up about, and where Gina is talking about how much she wants to kiss him. So
We're not talking about that anymore.
Oh my God! Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
No, Jake.
No, I
knows.
said I
for
wouldn't
you.
talk about it no more.
Okay. No, Jake is always, he's complaining about, nobody's playing the game. I want to make big moves. It's like, okay, then fucking do it. Then do it.
He's
Stop talking
trying.
about it and do it.
He's
Like,
trying.
come on, man. I mean, geez, why is nobody's playing? Okay, well, sometimes playing the game means putting every single vote on one person, or it means Bello and Reba, or that doesn't mean that people aren't playing the game. Like, that pissed me off. I was like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, come on. And like,
That's fair.
sometimes it goes
That's
that
fair.
way. And you have to do things like that. That's not playing the game.
Okay.
That's all. That's all.
We'll take that.
All right.
We'll
Hey,
take that.
yeah.
We'll take that as constructive, and we'll deal with it. We're gonna swallow. We're gonna digest
Oh
it.
my God, I didn't know his last name was O'Kane. I apologize.
But-
Wow. Wow.
With that, we're also going to say that there was something else that he said in there that I think is interesting. That really does have to do with that pile up. He said in the tribal that like whoever is on the bottom of this pile up, that means you're next. So what are you doing to make sure that you're not? And I think that that's really a little bit more of where he was trying to go with that. And it's like, so what do you do? Like, you've got to know that you're on the bottom of certain things. And we can say that, Julie is going to have it out for him the entire time. I'm sure she will. And like, granted, I'm not really down for all the vote losing, but that can certainly help my boy going forward, because we don't know if Julie's going to even have a voice. If Julie's teamed up with her people, then that's out of here. Like, maybe that's not going to be a thing. So there's certainly a path forward still for Jake. We are not counting my king out. But with that, like, so what do you think of even that he said there? Because I think that's true of all of these games, whether you're playing Survivor or Big Brother. I think that's something to be mindful of. You can't just pile on and think that's just what the house or the tribe wants, because next vote.
Yeah, that's a big thing that we
Yeah,
that's a big thing we complain about with Big Brother. Like, this last season that just ended, like, we started off week after week after week was just a unanimous vote by the house, and it was because nobody wanted to shake things up. Everyone wanted to, because no one wanted to have to be the person that's like, everyone in the house thinks that I threw that one rogue vote. So everybody just plays it safe. They just, they just put their vote on whoever everybody else is voting for, even if they actually want to save that person. So yeah, I do. I could see like I see that side of it.
Yes, it's a good point by Jake. I mean, obviously,
absolutely.
somebody is on the bottom somewhere, and yes, I mean it, but that's your king is under attack. Oh my god.
Kyle.
Oh my god, I come up in here and blow it up. I'm sorry.
I mean, I will say I was really worried about him in this episode, because the beginning of this tribal was not good for
Didn't look
Jake.
good.
He was
No,
having
didn't
a
look good.
rough go. And I was actually talking about this with James. Like, we've obviously seen that Jake has had a bit of a rough road in terms of like perceived health issues going on. I can't decide if this is like he was just grasping at straws and didn't know what to say to save himself, or if these things could be like just a related, like he's really gassing himself out like physically, because it like truly Jeff asked him a question and he just vamped for so long, not even remembering what the question was, and was like, sorry, I can't get my way back. Can I campaign instead? And Jeff was like, sure. And he went, okay. And then couldn't say anything. And I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
I felt
also-
for him.
It killed me.
I was curious too. I mean, like, I don't know how much of this was part of his like play that he was, because I mean, he had that moment where he was like, I'm saying if I bring out out an idol. But so at that point I was like, okay, so how much up to this point was him trying to like put himself in a certain box, like present himself a certain way to these people? Like, we don't know how much of that he was like genuinely like stressing, or how much of that was it acting,
because specifically in that moment too, I was
theater. Yes.
Well, listen, Jake is a theater kid. He's one of us. That's why we love him. But that moment too, like I had a thought. All right. I was thinking about that too, because we saw earlier in the episode that he was very obviously looking for an idol, where everybody was watching him like freaking out, like, oh God, Jake is really losing it. He's like going out of his way to like tear this island apart to find an idol. And when he had that like quote unquote slip up, my idol and idol, whatever it was that he said, like I was like, okay, so is this he was playing a long game and trying to make it look like he was looking for something so he could pretend he found something? Was this like an improv moment that in the moment he was like, all right, nothing else is working, so let me just try this? Or did he genuinely just screw up? Like I cannot decide which way that went.
I do not think he screwed up one bit. I think
I think that was intentional.
The my idol thing.
I thought it was
my idol. Yeah.
I thought it was intentional too, and then James was like, I think he just misspoke. And I was like, I don't think that's correct.
No,
that
sorry.
felt calculated.
Yeah, I think the question is how much before that was intentional, or improvised.
I don't think the things before that actually were improvised. I think that he just kind of got lost in the sauce. And I could totally see that being the case, because you can be asked a question and you're trying to answer it in tribal in a way that does not tip anybody else off to what you're trying to say. And then I could very easily see getting completely lost. Like,
listen,
like, what does happen?
that
happens here.
Right. I was gonna say that happens to
Fair.
me when I'm not on television, sitting in tribal council in front of Jeff Probst. So like,
There have been so
Yeah.
many nights I'm trying to make a grand point, and I start from here, and I get to the end. I'm like, "What the fuck was
What
I
the
saying?"
fuck
No,
was I saying?
I
Right.
definitely do think that like the beginning of Tribal was genuinely like, shit, I don't know how to do this. And like
Mhm.
whether the idol thing was pre-calculated before Tribal or calculated in that moment, that was his final Hail Mary of like, all right, nothing else that I've said in this Tribal is working. I have to do something.
Something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Somebody put
Well-
his crown back on. Talking like this. Dust this thing off, and people come in. Oh my God, you crazy!
So the other thing from the beginning of the episode that I wanted to bring up was this talk about a women's alliance, because all of a sudden the women realized they had the majority. There were 10 people left, 6 women, 4 men.
Mm-hmm.
So did you ever think that it had a shot? I obviously it didn't last long. Emily goes to Drew and blows it up, and then we see a woman
Immediately.
leave in this episode in
30
Kelly.
minutes.
Yeah, but like,
It was a nice
Would you-
thought.
yeah, would you have
I
liked to
wanted
have
it to work.
seen this group of women work together? Yeah.
Always,
I would've
every
loved to.
every second of the day. Yes, please.
They
I-
also
yeah.
like they would have if Bruce wasn't immune. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
would have at least had one.
At
I
least
think.
one vote, right?
Yeah.
oh,
But
Kelly.
I also, as much as I would have liked to see that work, I think that Dee, Julie, and Emily are too entrenched in with Drew and Austin
yeah.
Right.
for it to have to like leave that alliance behind. I just don't think that
Well,
it was
I-
too far
Yeah.
into the game.
I think so as well. Yeah.
It is interesting because even with Emily going and telling Drew about it, like I could see a world where Emily, Dee, and Julie decided like let's use this women's alliance to pick off Bruce and pick off Jake, and then it'll just be us, Austin, and Drew at the end. You know, like it's like, yeah, we'll play along with this women's alliance for a couple of tribals, and then as soon as like our group of 5 just has the super majority and it's 5 against like 2, like all right, no more women's alliance. You know, I could have seen something
Yeah.
like that happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But now it's a question of if Kendra and Katura would ever trust them again,
Right.
knowing that they were
Poor Kendra.
betrayed in this moment.
I absolutely
Poor
love
Katura.
Well, but I'm saying, like, I love Kendra so much, but she has been on the wrong side of the last, like, 3 or 4 votes. And every time, it's
Yeah.
not just like, oh, I voted wrong. She is completely flabbergasted that the vote went the
Yeah.
way that it went. Like, her reads are all over the place.
Yes.
Her reads have been all over the place. And I also get nervous that she's a little bit too emotional when she doesn't get it right. Because it
Yeah.
almost looks like,
Yes.
you know, like you're too upset. And it's like, you know, that would give me some pause whether or not I even want you to be on the right side of the vote going forward. Like I like, like
If I am now in the jury and I'm watching somebody who so obviously has no idea what's going on, I'm like, okay, so like if you make it to the end, you're there because you're lucky, because you clearly are showing me that every step of the way you are not a part of these decisions.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a very hard road to climb. That's not a phrase. If she gets to final tribal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do want to talk about Kelly and Bruce a little more too, because like
oof.
so obviously Kelly gets voted out at tribal council 5-3,
Oh,
which
killed me.
Bruce,
Oh.
Jeff, I mean, he read out the first 3 votes for Jake, not looking good, and then we get 5 straight votes for Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Smoked.
But if we look back to even just the last episode, Kelly, we got a lot of talk from her in this episode about how she just couldn't wait to get rid of Bruce. And from what I can tell, the only reason Bruce was even still around for this episode was because of Kelly. Because Kendra and Drew were ready to cut Bruce. Kelly said no. Bruce still trusts me, so I think I should still keep him around, and that's why they voted out Sifu. And now you have Bruce winning immunity when you need him out the most to send Kelly home.
Mhm.
That was rough.
That was really
really
tough.
rough to watch.
Really, really tough
Yeah.
to watch. I hated it.
She
I
did
hated
not
it.
take that well either. She was.
No, it was a
She was-
very
She
emotional
was.
exit.
She was ready to
Oh.
fight in that moment.
Yeah, the way she
yeah.
stood up and looked at Emily and Austin and said, like, "Did you do this?" And then she's walking over to Jeff and doesn't even have her torch. Like, oh my god,
Oh my God. Yeah, what a
Killed
mess.
me.
Oh my God, what a mess.
There were
Yeah.
just so many good
Yeah.
moments in that, though. Like as the votes were being read, and Kelly turns to Austin, is like, "Did you do this?" And he was like,
right.
Like, great moment, yeah, but also made me want to rip my skin off. Like,
And
oh
then
yeah.
Emily,
god.
Oh
on her
yeah.
way out, Emily's like, "You played a good game." She goes, "You did this," and he's like,
Oh my God. I know. I
So
loved me some Miss Kelly. God, I loved her. But
loved Kelly.
I
I was
loved her
so
too.
sad
I
to
loved
lose her.
she was one of my favorites of the season, I think.
I
because
Yeah.
really
was,
liked Kelly.
she
Absolutely
was
agree.
really sneaky good, and then she did not become she lost the sneaky part, and she
Yep.
was just
Right.
good. And I think, after especially winning individual immunity the way she did in that challenge, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? You put a target on your back, you're safe, but I mean, but ultimately people don't forget that. And Kelly was good though. She really
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, I was so
I love
sad to
Kelly.
lose her.
Me too.
And I also have to say, I don't know if anybody else noticed, but did you guys see how beautiful Kelly's eyes are? Did you ever notice
Oh,
this?
Yes, I've noticed this. Are you kidding me?
Oh my
Look
God.
at her eyes.
What a
Look
doll.
at those things.
Yeah.
Look at those peepers.
Wow.
Those peepers.
And she hasn't
People-
even washed her eyes in 2 weeks.
Yeah, hasn't washed her
That's
eyes.
right. Hasn't washed her eyes.
Yeah, because she's too busy
Crazy.
brushing her teeth.
Oh my
guys
god.
are crazy.
Oh my
Show
god.
us the kit. Show us the kit.
Oh man. Yeah, Kelly was awesome, but she
Yeah.
becomes our second jury member.
My third casualty.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Gina
Jay.
is having a
I just want
rough
to throw this
go.
out there again. I really do still miss the introduction of the jury. I don't like that we don't get to see them walk in anymore.
Oh, yeah.
It's very sad.
Ah,
Oh no, really?
Oh.
right. I didn't
Yeah.
even think about that until I missed that.
I didn't even think about it either.
I thought we were gonna get it back with the 90 minutes. Yeah, when they walk in and
Wow.
everyone's like, "Oh, look!"
He announces their names. He says their names.
Right.
And they're all
They're like-
walking in. Yes.
I
And, like,
think
if it's a-
Caleb.
if it's a-
I think Caleb was already sitting there when the tribe
Yeah,
walked in.
he was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
there.
They
He was just
flipped it.
there.
Yeah.
Introduce
Yeah.
him. Yeah. Yes.
Like
How
and like
dare you.
the girls that come in like
Could
a
you?
long like gown and like,
Yes.
their hair all done up after
They
they've
get
been
their
like dirty.
makeup.
And
yeah.
like
Yes.
everyone's just like,
Yes. Yes.
Like, that's what you look like?
I missed
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I agree. I missed that too.
I missed
Yeah.
that.
I
Yeah.
didn't realize I missed it until now.
Until I
Right.
told
No,
Yeah.
I hadn't even really thought about it, but it's
you.
Yeah.
We're ready to Jeff.
Being off for a few seasons, I was very happy to see a full intro because they used to not have the full introductions to the they had the whole song. And I was literally sitting there.
And I think I think
Can you tell me-
the first one of the new era that's doing it again. I don't think
Yeah.
they've done it
Yeah.
up until now. Yeah.
They
No.
put it in. They put it in because they got 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, it made me
And
so happy.
Jay, could you just tell me one more time how the opening theme goes?
You would do it again. Gina never does it again, but I knew Jay would.
I could do the whole thing for you. I will spare you this
Oh,
at this
it
point.
really is a
Also,
banger.
the rocking. I mean, you
Amazing.
didn't
Oh.
just sing it; you gave it
Oh
to
no,
us,
I
right?
love it. I legitimately, you know what? I have to tell you, when I was like, because I've watched this since season 1. Okay, so I was a really big Survivor fan, and I love music. And I got the album of like all of their like orchestrations that Russ Landau did for this, and I truly just listened to it over and
I
over and
love
over
that.
again. Like when I was young, I loved it. I still do.
Yeah.
Great.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's so funny. You know, my one of my youngest nephews, George, suddenly out of nowhere, he's like 7, but he's like obsessed with Survivor.
Mhm.
So like his birthday, his 7-year-old birthday was a Survivor themed birthday party, which is where I got that Survivor flag behind me.
That's fabulous.
And him and you know, his family, my brother's family, they decided to go back and watch Survivor from season 1. They're not watching like the current season or anything, but they're like up to like season 20 or something like that of like Survivor. Yeah.
So good.
So much fun.
good.
All right, hold on. I did have a couple other things I wanted to ask you guys about, but first, something very, very important, because it's a really big day around here, you know, in the podcast, you know, the Strat Chat world. So,
Monwan Monday.
I'm sorry. I know Jay has like no idea.
They're like, hello.
I'm like, yes, absolutely work.
Okay, great.
Gina,
I love her.
Monwan Monday is like a celebrity Big Brother thing. And me
Okay.
and Kyle love it, and Gina hates it. So of course we have to play it at least once every Monday for
Nice.
Monwan Monday.
Nice.
Tell her tell them who the voiceover is.
Oh,
Of
so that
course.
voiceover was done for us by Jacob Hacker, who was on Netflix's The Mole. He's become a very close,
I
of the
love
pod.
the mole. I watched your
Yeah.
episodes of the mole stuff, and I
Yeah.
love the mole. Great.
And we've gotten
And
the
we love
chance to.
Jacob.
Yeah,
we love Jacob.
yes.
We've gotten the chance to talk to him a couple of times, and the last time he was here with us, he gave us a little Monwan Monday voiceover.
That's so cool.
Wait, that's not you? I thought that was John.
It was.
It used to
was
be
at
me.
first.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
used to be
Swapped
me.
out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Um,
awesome.
Oh,
So-
request has been made.
Matt Blevins.
Up.
You know I'm not gonna.
Well, yeah. Do you ever Lidl, Jay? You know, like
Lidl?
SpongeBob. Like
Lidl.
Little. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not really. I must say not really, but it sounds fun.
When
You
in
did a
Rome.
great Lidl. Yeah, you did a great Lidl right there, though. That's actually
there?
become. Yeah, that was a great Lidl. Great Lidl, Jay.
you.
Gina refuses to participate in the Lidl. Gina refuses. We had Lewis and Michelle on here from The Amazing Race.
Yes.
And that's really where this whole thing started, because they had posted like an Instagram story of them with some other friends of theirs Lidling. So then we spoke to them on the podcast, and we got them to Lidl here, and Kyle and I
Yes.
both Lidled. Gina refused to Lidl with us.
Yes, no.
I got
Lidling for Jay.
embarrassed.
Yeah. So
Gina, what is your aversion to Lidls?
Right.
And it doesn't. There doesn't have
Seriously,
to be.
seriously.
No. I you know.
I mean, in the
What's the
moment,
problem?
I got embarrassed.
I got embarrassed. Understandable.
yeah, in
That's
the
fine.
moment, which has now lasted about 6 months, with ample opportunities to Lidl since then, including this very moment where you have now Lidled.
I feel like since this started, I've lived in 2 different places since this started,
Yeah.
and she still refuses to do it.
Gina, there
my
is
God.
such an easy way to get this to stop.
I know.
Yeah. Well, I have found my own way to somehow make Gina at least a little bit involved, and that's through using this. Yeah, Gina is officially the Lidl mermaid of Strat Chat podcast.
Oh crap! Okay.
Promoted from her previous role as a sister.
Wow.
A show that we were all in together.
That's right.
Oh my god.
Mikey was in that one too for a couple of shows.
Yeah.
For 2
That's
performances
right.
only.
And I played the part of Spotlight
Spotlight.
operator.
Nice.
Spotlight operator.
Spotlight.
I can't believe you've never
That's
played.
right.
Have you played Scuttle?
Yes,
Okay.
I did play Scuttle.
Okay,
yeah,
good,
a couple
good,
of
thank
years
God.
ago. Yes.
good,
Aw,
good.
that's nice.
Oh my god.
Good. All is right with
Good,
you.
good, good,
Sleep
good,
easy tonight.
Good.
Knowing that you were Scott.
All right. Good night, everybody. No.
Has John been
Oh,
the
man.
mermaid? I don't think so.
No.
I have not. I have not.
Damn.
I have
It's so
definitely, you know,
fun.
I've
Yeah.
been alone in my house and been, you know, really rocking out to Under the Sea before,
Oh,
but
Oh,
you know,
Sure,
terrible
never,
movie.
never,
sure.
you know,
Terrible movie, but
never
great
been on
stage show.
stage. Yeah, I've
Terrible
never been on
movie.
stage
My
doing the show.
goodness.
I literally could not get through it. Could not get through it. Didn't
Like
like
the
it. It was
cartoon?
terrible.
The
Yeah, the
cartoon or the
cartoon.
new
Yeah,
one?
no, the
Really?
cartoon. Yeah,
That
literally
is in
could
my
not get
top
through it.
3.
No, sorry. I couldn't get through it as a child. I was cast in it, and then I bought it. I said, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna watch it. I couldn't get past the
Wow.
shipwreck. Couldn't get past it.
That is a crazy thing to say. Bye,
The
Mikey.
shipwreck.
Ah, that's 3 minutes in.
That's 3 minutes in.
If you check my Amazon Prime, you'll see the little bar goes tick.
Bonkers.
Wow.
Oh my god, I'm crying. That's so ridiculous. I couldn't make it past the shipwreck.
That
Oh,
movie is a
man.
masterpiece, man. It's a
Oh.
masterpiece.
Falsa.
It's a masterpiece.
Yes, no way, no way. However, I have seen From Justin to Kelly on repeat. I'd say I probably watch that monthly.
Oh man.
Oh,
I
my
only like
God.
quality.
Quality only.
Oh, that is
Right,
so
right.
funny. That is
Right.
so
Oh, man.
funny.
Whew.
Oh God.
Wow.
Oh my
All
gosh.
right. All right. Okay.
Ah.
Where do you
There
go
was something
from
else
there?
from this. Yeah, I do have something. I've been giving Gina a hard time. I have.
What else is
Now
new?
anybody though who watches or listens to this podcast knows that there's one thing that is always for sure, that will always be true, and that is that Kyle loves family segments. Kyle loves everything to do with
Aw.
family segments. It really is
Mhm.
important to him. And we got a really nice one in this episode that had to do with Kendra and how she met her father. So before
Wow.
Kyle gives his thoughts on this, I do just want to play this.
Whose
So,
house
Kyle.
is that?
So Kyle, what do you think?
Oh, okay. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Oh,
Where'd I
Come
go?
Oh,
There-
you're back.
now you're back.
you're back. You're back. You're back.
Okay. So I actually like this Kendra moment talking about her father, and I have to say I'm starting to come around to some of these family moments.
Wow.
I had a misty moment during Big Brother UK. I had a
That was a-
misty
oh,
moment
UK.
watching Big Brother Australia. And
That was a
now
good one.
I wasn't misty with this one, but I was on board. So you know, like, come on. But usually, it's just, you know, there needs to be some actual contact with the family. I just reading a letter and just you've only been there for 14 days. What is all of that? Like, it's too much to me. It's just too much. Like, I
Right.
understand it's tough out there, I'm sure. But I've also been in some pretty tough situations for longer than 2 weeks, and I didn't speak to my mother. And like, you know what? I was all right. When I spoke to her, I said, you know, Mommy, I love you. I didn't cry. But I was certainly happy to talk to her. Like, come on. Like, I just feel like it's a little overblown sometimes.
I agree.
All right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Thank you, Mikey. Thank you. I just think it's a little bit too much.
I've
Kendra
said this
talking
before.
about this felt normal, felt natural. Had to get that beer. It might have been my father. Here's this amazing story. Great. Perfect. Everything felt appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
I
was-
did enjoy it also.
For $1 million, I would not talk to my family for a year. Like I just
$1 million.
Bye.
21 days, you can't handle it. 20.
Right.
Get out of here.
Right.
Get out of here. I'll cut off
Right.
all communication. $1 million? That's a lot
A
of
cruise
money.
is longer than that.
Wouldn't you want me to not speak to you for a year for $1 million? Wouldn't we all be better off?
Christmas presents are going to be a lot better next year. You just
Exactly.
can't talk to
Right.
me for a year.
Right. That's
We're
right.
Listing in houses and condos with this money. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, just too much. Just a little bit too much.
Oh man. But yeah, I think that is really that's all I have for this episode that we've been talking about tonight. I do, you know, I feel like we've pretty much gotten through everything. So unless there's anything that you know, anyone else has been thinking about that they want to bring up about this episode, but I do just have, you know, what's been going on in the next on also.
Tell us.
It looks like D is becoming a target. We do see in the next one a conversation between Emily and Austin. And Emily says that if D is in the final 3, she's going to win. But we know that Austin is working very closely with D. So who knows? That could backfire on Emily, and she could be the one in trouble.
It's very possible. Because
next thing
doesn't
we
Austin now have 2 idols? Now that
Yes,
Kelly
yes.
left, that means
That is something else. Yeah,
Oh.
that is something else that I meant to. Yeah, that we should have brought up because Kelly left.
Yes,
Austin now has
that's right.
2 full idols, and there are
I
only
forgot about that.
Yeah, and there's only 9 people in there.
now there's 9.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Half of
So,
them are my
yeah.
team.
that's
It's
very
pretty.
big.
It's pretty unreal too how under the radar Austin is right now.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like,
I also
huh.
like. Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up because actually I did have another thought about Austin, and it was, do you think that he's like throwing some of these challenges? Like he hasn't performed as well as I like maybe would have thought he might have. There hasn't been a ton of like individual immunities yet.
Right.
But like I
It-
was almost
it's
surprised he went out as like fast as he did in this specific one. He looks like a pretty strong dude, and I felt like he
Right.
dropped that weight a little early in this one. For
I would say strength and endurance are not the same thing necessarily.
sure,
Doing
sure.
a lot of those muscle because it's like specific to body weight and like that kind of thing can be more difficult sometimes than running around like playing basketball. Like it's just
Absolutely,
It's a
yeah.
totally if that's not something that you're training in, like it's a totally different sort of like
Absolutely,
athleticism.
yeah. I
So
just
I'm
think-
not. I wouldn't. And we've only really seen for our individual immunities endurance challenges so far. So
Right.
it could be just that endurance isn't his thing.
And that's fair, but like
Mhm.
he seems. I guess like maybe it was the wrong, wording to say like that he looks very strong because I think that he does look like he's a strong guy, but it also like looks like he has the type of build for like endurance to me. Like he doesn't seem like an overly like jacked guy where all he does is work on his biceps every day in the gym and that's all he does. Like doesn't he surf and stuff and like I feel like he seems like a pretty well-rounded like physical threat and like an athlete to me. So I don't know.
Right. Which makes it like even more crazy that he's under that radar.
Yeah.
Because even just looking at him, you're like, wow, he's really getting underneath in there and slithering around, isn't he? Like good for him.
Like
good for
dropping,
him.
he plants seeds in a way that are
Yes.
that's really interesting too. Like he
Mhm.
planted that J Maya seed. He planted he pushes the plants forward that work for him. It's interesting. If he's in the final 3, I think he's hard to beat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
I
honest.
agree.
Me too.
I agree.
Yeah.
If he can like properly explain his game, that is, because
Sure.
Yeah.
I've said that before, and then they kind of fumbled that final tribal.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Yep.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yum.
Yeah.
The other thing we actually did touch on this already a little bit, but it looks like for the next immunity challenge, the tribe's going to be divided into groups of 3. So whichever team loses, like Kyle was mentioning before, it looks like whichever group loses, all 3 of them are going to lose their vote, which means that we have 9 players in the game, and a third of those players will not be able to participate in the vote. And that's only counting the 3 that lose. I mean, who knows if somebody that feels like they're in danger and they play their shot in the dark, we might have less. We might have less than half of the players voting next week for all we know.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm tired of that.
Yeah. I agree.
Wow.
I agree. I'm tired of it.
Yeah. Boo. As my mother would say, boo, hiss, hiss.
Tomato, 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 tomato.
Yeah.
Now, I do wonder. So the first coming into the merge, right? The very first challenge we had was breaking up into teams, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Would you mind this as much if we didn't have that other twist? Like, do you think if we had just one of these as opposed to both, you might feel better about each one individually?
Probably.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just feel like it's too much at this point in the merge. We've already seen these small groups. We've seen 6, tribes of 6 come and vote already. Like, let's just have the whole group there scrambling and, strategizing, and everyone gets their vote. Like, I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
by
it's
the time
also-
by the time we get it, there's only going to be 6 people left.
Right. I was gonna say, like, we're all about to
Right.
get down to 6 people again fairly soon anyway. So it's like it's a little much at this point.
It
Yeah.
is. It is.
Not
Especially-
everything can be a win.
No, and coming off the heels of like Australian Survivor, where we're just playing like bare bones Survivor, right? 2 tribes, everyone votes all the time. You're just playing the game, and then you come to this, and it's like, what is all this wacky stuff? Like, it's fun to an extent, but it's like, but no one's playing. Like,
Yeah.
to Bruce's point, like he won immunity and has no vote, so he can't do anything. Like, you're literally just sitting there as a person that's like not even really in the game. Like.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you could insert yourself if you got involved in the social stuff, right? But, like, but you still had like you have no vote.
You have no power.
Yeah, nothing. And like, could Bruce really get in there? Would he help or hurt him trying to politic for anybody else? Like,
It's a good point, but
it might
at the
actually
same
be better to
time,
be
it's like-
quiet.
But would
Yeah.
it be though? Could it be better? Could it be worse than losing his number 1 though?
Right.
Like what is the worst thing that could possibly have happened? Because he's
Right.
this was worst case scenario for him.
Yeah.
Except, like, it was, but I think that I don't know. The sand was almost out of that part of the hourglass, wasn't it? Like, time is already basically running out for the whatever Kelly was going to get out of this Bruce relationship. Like, he was going if he didn't win this. So, like, this next week, he's just up again. Like, Kelly's not going to be able to stop that.
We'll see.
I also just think it's very funny that, like, going back to Austin for a second, like, he has 2 full idols now, which we talked about. And the reason he has that is because he had this vendetta against Jay Maya and Kelly for denying him this sandwich. But, like, it's funny
my God.
because he couldn't get over it, and he got them out, and it was to his benefit. Now he has 2 idols, but it's just funny because he was so angry about them making that decision, and now, like, it helped. I feel like it's helped his game so much that they did make that decision. Like, he is in there with only 9 players left, and he has 2 idols. Like,
I'll bet you I could tell you when he made that choice too. He was like, when Kelly sat down with that sandwich, man, he was like, done.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
You're done. She got the sandwich. We're done here.
like for all we know, like, that whole twist could somehow end up winning Austin the game. The fact that he has
Very
as
true.
much power as he does now, and he was so pissed that Jay Maya and Kelly decided to go for those advantages, and it's like that could be the thing that ends up getting him to the end. For all we know,
They might have handed him $1 million with that choice.
Yeah.
Truly. Yeah.
Wow.
So funny.
Well, I think that's all I've got. Anybody have anything else for our latest episode of Survivor? Anything else you're looking forward to coming up in the season? Or
Looking forward to someone from Team Mikey taking the mill. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I'm looking forward to someone from Team Mike getting voted out.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
Not looking good for that, baby.
It's impressive. If Mikey does not lose somebody in this week's episode, that means that Mikey, his draft team, will make up half of the players that are still in the game.
Wow. Yeah, because you have all 4, right, Mikey?
I have all
Yeah, he
4.
does.
I got Bruce has an idol. Drew has his safety without power, and then I got Katura and D. So
Damn.
And who has Austin with his 2 idols? Is that on John?
I've got
Just
Austin.
John.
I got Austin and Emily.
All right.
I don't
Austin
think
was
I
like-
have any advantages on my team.
Yeah,
Maybe
Austin
not.
was
Julie
like
don't got
my
nothing.
Austin was my number 1 pick.
Julie. Kyle P, who do you have left?
I have Jake and I have Kendra. Yeah, I got no advantages left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I think Kendra's in a good spot though. Even though she doesn't seem to know what's going on, I don't know necessarily she'll win, but like no one's looking at her as someone to get rid of is where I'm going.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's
right.
true. Absolutely right.
do I get money? Do we get money? Did we put a pool in for this?
All right, hold on.
I'll Venmo you like $1,
$1.
or maybe
Dollar.
like $5 so you can buy a cup of coffee.
That's nice. Wow, is that nice?
Everyone Venmos the winner $1. Then it's $3. It's a good
3
pie.
whole dollars.
$3.
That's good.
Congratulations.
$3 whole.
You won the
It won't
Strat
even-
Fat draft.
It won't even get you a coffee. It
No.
will not even get you one single.
It depends where
coffee.
you go. Go to, like,
Okay.
some shitty
7-Eleven?
deli. Yeah, baby.
Nice. Yes,
Nice little
Seb's
bagel.
I could
Seven
ask my wife
Elevs.
before so you can at least get like a decent cup. Like
I don't.
my 5
This
and
is
their
sounding
2,
better
they
and
can go
better.
get a good cup of coffee. Like I don't want you at somebody's gas station pouring somebody's Green Mountain. Like, oh my God.
Oh,
Nah, I'll take like a Gatorade before I get a coffee anyway. $3 is enough.
He really knows how to paint a picture, you know?
oh
Oh,
my God, I
man.
see it. I see it. Oh crap.
Every
Okay.
gas station
Oh,
has
man.
it.
Every gas station in the
Yeah.
world. Oh, that's good stuff.
Oh God.
Wow.
Oh my God. This has
Oh, shit.
been so much fun tonight. This really
Yeah.
has been
My
so much
God.
fun.
My
It's a
cheeks
really good
hurt.
one.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jay, for coming and hanging out with us.
Thank you so much. This
it's
has
been a
been a
blast.
blast.
Yeah. I know
I'm
that
so
you
happy.
were getting caught up on the season this past weekend. So like just keep with it, and I feel like we got to have you back again at some point to
Oh my gosh, I
no
would
risk.
Yeah.
love
talk
it.
more talk more Survivor. So
I'm back. I'm hooked. I'm back in it. And literally I binged the season so I could be on this today. I was like,
And we are grateful for it.
by
Yes.
God, I will do anything in my power. So no, thanks so much for having me, guys. This was fun.
No,
Of
thanks
course,
for coming.
where can people? We have all of our socials, our handles up there. Where can people find Jay? Where can people
know,
find
I
Jay
meant
Hughes?
to do
Because
that.
you're always
Hi.
doing like very cool things too. Like you're always doing very cool things. Jay,
Yeah.
for people out there that are watching and listening, Jay is incredibly talented. So people need to find you. Where can they find Jay Hughes?
Okay, fabulous. Well, you can find me right on over on Instagram. That's really where I'm most active. So I'll just give you my Insta. It's _J Hughes, just like we see right here underneath. Well, not with the space. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
_J Hughes. And that's where you'll find all of my information, what's coming up next, pics and vids, and
and
yeah.
Rangers Roundup.
And Rangers Roundup.
Rangers
Yes. Oh
Roundup.
God, I had the.
Love the New
I
York
can't
Rangers.
lie to you. I had the game on. I did, and boy, did they
That's
get.
what you've been looking at.
Yeah, I was going like this. Looking at it.
I love that. I love
On
that. I
mute,
love that.
the New
I
York
love it.
Rangers were on tonight. Yes, if you want to know some useless information that nobody cares about the New York Rangers, come on in and join us. Come on in and join us. It's fun.
Actually, the perfect way to bookend the entire thing because I was a Rangers fan for a very long time, kind of fell out of it, but like I watched your Rangers Roundup. I don't know what you were talking about either, and it's like, oh, I just love to hear them speak.
See, it's the highest
really care.
compliment.
Yeah.
A lot of people have messaged me privately to be like, I have no idea what's going on, but God, do I love it. And I wait for it. And I say, you know what? Great. If that gets people, excited, fabulous, because I can't help myself. So yes, you'll find some interesting things on there.
Honestly, one of my favorite things about our friendship is how big of hockey fans we both are. And I
Yes.
know that like you are so passionate about the Rangers.
Yes,
And I am
yes.
so passionate about the Islanders.
Spark
So
of the
it's like,
Dragon, baby.
I love that we have our fun New York hockey rivalry.
Oh,
One
I
of my
love
favorite
it
things.
too because I love
Yeah.
talking about it with you. So I know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we all go too far back, baby.
I know.
Oh God, I love you all.
But
love you too.
all right.
You too.
Thank you so much, Jay. Of course, thank you, Mikey, as always. And if there are people out there that are fans of Strat Chat Pod, find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. What do we have coming up the rest of this week? We've got on Thursday.
Whoa. Thursday's Thanksgiving.
Oh my God, it's Thanksgiving. All right, I guess we won't be around on Thursday.
No, we won't.
But on Wednesday, we will have our next Big Brother Australia exit interview.
Yes.
Yes.
That
That'll
we
be out
know
at
for
8.
sure, right? 8
That'll be out
p.m.
at 8
Eastern
o'clock.
time. Yeah, so we'll be doing our next Big Brother Australia interview on Wednesday, and then
I'm
we'll
also
figure out after
down for
that.
like a Thanksgiving morning pre-record.
Yeah.
To put, I don't have anything to do. I'm just making my mac and cheese. I'm not going to my place until 6 p.m.
Oh,
So
Okay.
could just record the challenge in
Kyle's
BBAU
mac
in the
and
morning and
cheese.
still put it out. I know my mac and cheese.
I
is
know it's been
honestly-
so
Oh,
long,
God,
Kyle.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Mm.
My mac and cheese is great. I have to say.
What a delicacy, man.
Oh,
I mean,
my
it's my
goodness.
mom's recipe, but yes, I do it very
It's-
well.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
good. It's
I,
so
I
that's-
good.
well, honestly though, like I remember Kyle has made some very memorable dishes. I
I
remember
was
at the
gonna
Bayshore house, some of the brunches that we had. Oh my god, the giant bacon, egg, and cheese bagel that you had to like literally
Oh.
cut into and like
Oh my
oh my
god.
god.
Oh, those yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That was great. Remember the Hamby wheel?
Oh, the Hamby wheel.
Hamby
The
wheel.
That's what I
Hamby
was thinking
wheel.
of. I was the hell. God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, delicacies. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Really
She
fun
knows how
times.
to throw down in the kitchen. I'll give her that.
She does.
Hell yeah.
She
Hell
She
really
isn't he
does.
isn't me.
She isn't he isn't me.
Yes. Yeah, but that's all I'm doing on Thursday. It's just my mac and cheese. So like
Macaroons.
in the morning, if people want to just like get up, have a cup of coffee, and chat some Strat.
I could see myself being down for that for sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll talk about it off stream. We'll see.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
definitely Wednesday at 8, we'll drop in that next post-eviction interview with our people from the Big Brother Australia universe.
Yes, yes.
Having a really good time with that.
Y'all
Yeah.
better gather round.
It's time to judge Julie. No, we got to come up with one for Sonia. Something that adds fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. But all right. Well, I think that's all I got. Everybody, thank you so much. It was such a fun night.
Awesome.
Again, find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. We're everywhere. Give us a like, comment, subscribe. We like to meet new people. We'd love for you to jump in the conversation. So please do so. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those places, and give us a nice review. We would love that. It would be very helpful
Yeah,
to the
say
channel and
something
to the
nice.
podcast.
And tell your friends.
Yeah, but all right. Hey, I guess we'll see everybody soon. So
Yeah.
long.
Hoy, hoy,